Hey guys, welcome back to another review episode. What I was going to talk to you about is I made my own 3/4 by 3/4 trim right here by just getting some 1x and cutting it on the table saw. You've probably seen me doing that in the videos. I'm only having to burn and stain two sides of them, but it's turning out really good, I think, and it's really the cheapest way to go. The other thing that you've probably seen me whittling on were these right here. These are the corner pieces that actually cover my angle iron. I had to router out the back side of it, but it actually goes up in the corner like so, and I cut them off at 3/4 right here where those pieces, let me see if I can find one here. These pieces actually butt in right here. They're not exact, but it kind of resembles crown molding somewhat. But yeah, I had to use a 2x because I had to get at least 3/4 of an inch deep, so I actually ended up going a little over that just to make sure that I had enough room and that it didn't exceed the inset of the wall, you know, into the beams that the main structure of the house. So but these right here, I didn't want to have great big huge stock because I wanted to set it in back as far as possible so that the original structure, you know, kind of stands out from everything else. So this kind of basically goes in about halfway, but it looks good. So I don't think that there's a problem there, but I had to have, I think it was 34 of those corner pieces to go in all the area that I actually have in the house. And I'm going to have to cut probably a lot more of these, but that also gives me something. You've probably seen me working on the trim, and then I'll tell you what, this thing right here, this is something else. It's got little fine raised beads on it right here. I don't know if the camera is focusing on it, but this thing right here, it will hog out the material. But this allows me to be able to shave down the corner of the slab wood at least 3/4. You've probably seen me marking that too. And I try to get it down and kind of slope it down to where it actually meets this, but it's actually it's looking really good. So, you know, another thing too is I had some comments about too many episodes on laying the rock. Well, there were too many episodes on putting up the siding too, and there were probably too many episodes of me putting together the structure, but that's just the nature of the beast, right? You know, what I'm shooting here, these videos are just basically, you know, a day in my life. So when I'm out here shooting video, you're seeing, you know, what I'm doing every day. And believe me, I also had another comment about it seems like that the episodes slowed down or were dragging a little bit. Well, I don't know how that is because I'm not dragging any. But you know, when you get this far along, you got a bunch of little fine detail and you don't see a whole lot of production being made. You just see a bunch of little bitty things being done. But you know, I knew that that was going to happen, and I'm down to the point where it's a little aggravating for me too, because I like the big things. I like to see the production being made. But I'll tell you what, laying rock is time consuming, so there's going to be a lot more episodes on laying the rock on the other three sides because I have to do it. I can't just, you know, stop shooting video. So you'll see me laying more rock. You will see me working on the porch. You'll see me working on the back porch, continuing to sheetrock inside, insulate, and all that kind of stuff because it's all got to be done. So anyway, but I do appreciate all the comments because, you know, it gives me food for thought. And you know, if I miss something, then, you know, hopefully somebody will point it out and then I can go back and correct that. But I've also got a bunch of trim to go around the perimeter, which is basically 1x4 that will cover that piece of, I actually had an angle slab that went up on top so that I could put my roof joists on and I didn't have to cut out the bird's mouth. I've got one there. I went ahead and cut the purlins to the same angle, and the central upper beam, it was cut on an angle, and that gave me a whole lot to anchor that to. And then of course between each one I've got 2x6s this way, and they're anchored down, so that roof is not going anywhere. And then the top, it has a piece of plywood across the two where they meet, but it's solid. So yeah, I've got the 1x4s, they'll go around the upper perimeter, and then when I get up next to the purlins and the upper central beam, I'm probably going to rip them down 1.5 inches because I kind of want it to resemble the same, but I don't want too much, you know, like I said, where I leave most of the original structure exposed. But I do have to have something to butt that slab wood up to, and since I'm going to cover that sheetrock, you know, all the joints with slab wood, I need it on both ends to be able to butt that up to. So I think I'm going to go ahead and rip them down 1.5 inches to cover up there, and then of course, you know, I have to cut my angle, the roof angle on there too. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing a whole lot of work on cutting up pieces of trim, stockpiling those so that on the rainy days, which you've seen, and you know, it's not too long and fall will be here, we start getting a lot of rain, and then of course in the winter time you have a lot of wetness and nothing ever dries up. So just trying to cut a bunch of this, stockpile it, so on those days, you know, I can actually work inside the cabin. And you know, there'll be a whole lot of working inside still because I'm trying to finish up, you know, covering up the roof, insulating it, and I've still got this one room right here that doesn't have anything on the outside wall. I need to at least get the insulation up there. I'm not real worried about sheetrocking that because, you know, it's not going to be a great loss of heat if I don't, but I do want to get the insulation in there, and like I said, the roof, and get the sheetrock on that portion anyway, so that I can, you know, hold as much heat in as possible. But it's all coming along. There's still a long way to go on the inside and outside because I got to rock and build the 2 decks, you know, and the handrail right here. I'll probably do that next year, but there's still a whole lot to do on this cabin. But you know what? We've come a long way because I actually quit EMS. Next month will be a year, and I didn't even have the floor joists in when I quit. So I have come a long way in a year and still built that chicken house up there, and you know, worked on these raised beds, this garden area, putting that fencing around that. And you know, I've had a lot of help up here, and I really do appreciate you guys. Had a lot of subscribers stop by and help me out up here. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, there's been a whole lot done in a short period of time, so we're moving along. You know, I gotta tell you too, I'm working on these. You'll probably see me peeling a whole lot of bark in some of the upcoming episodes and in the future, but I am really liking this, what I'm calling wildwood trim. I really do like it once it is you know, burned and has that oil put on there. And because it's not straight, because it has a lot of character, just makes it, to me, it stands out that much more. Now the ones that are thinner, let's see if I've got one right here. Yeah, like this one right here, I will use this as horizontal trim in the house. But the ones that are wider, like this one right here, I'm going to reserve these, and I'm going to try to work, you know, getting them all the same width, like this one right here. And it's still, like I said, I got a lot to debark and get them prepared. But those are going to go up on the ceiling because you know how the taper is on the sheetrock before it meets is probably what, 2.5, maybe 3 inches, so you got about a 6-inch gap. So this will cover from one side to the other real well. And you know, I only put 1 coat of paint on that ceiling and on the walls, and I mean to tell you, it really looks good. Now I think when Jennifer and I went to the hardware and we bought that, it seems like we paid $139 or $149 for a 5-gallon bucket. I think that's what it was. And I can't remember the brand that we got, but I'll tell you this, I don't know if it's a primer and paint together, but it's going on, and then when it dries, it really looks good. So I think it depends on what kind of paint you get, whether you have to put 2 coats on. You know, it wouldn't hurt me to put another coat on there, but that's one of my least favorite things to do, is to paint. But this is really looking good, and I don't see any of the defects, you know, where I covered up the screw holes, or the screw heads actually. And once the joints get covered up, I think the ceiling is going to look fantastic, especially with this up there, because it's going to you know, really clash with the white ceiling, and then this is going to be a little bit darker. And you know, since I've got a lot of wood structure framing in there, this is going to set it off even that much more. This is going to be a one-of-a-kind cabin. But anyway, it's kind of a mix of old and a mix of new. You know, the reason I put the sheetrock up there was because it was a whole lot cheaper. My original intention was tongue and groove, but then, you know, lumber just went out of sight for, you know, I can't really figure out a reason why. Some people might say COVID. I don't think so. But I think that, you know, going with the sheetrock, and especially, you know, I used a 1/2 inch because I had that styrofoam in there, and then I went ahead and put in the R19, and I didn't want it sagging any in the middle, so I knew that the 1/2 inch would hold a whole lot better. But it seems to be doing really well, and you know, it's not really what I wanted, but since I've decided to do this up there, I think it's really going to look good, as opposed to having a tongue and groove ceiling. And the more I think about it, you know, the ceiling the way it is, even though there's going to be a lot of wood in there, any kind of bright color that I can put in there makes it even that much lighter on the inside, because when light hits it, it bounces off and it creates, you know, more light. So I think that, you know, it worked out really good by having to do what I'm doing. So anyway, but yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this right here, even though it's really time consuming, to, you know, be able to use this right here, because, you know, honestly, I've never seen it done before. Not to say again that it hasn't, but it's a really cool effect. So there's still a lot more of this to do, and you'll probably see this in upcoming episodes, but I think it's unique. You know, this has actually become a really nice benefit to be able to work out here, because you can see all these tools lined up, but on the rainy days I come out here and I do what I can, you know, that any cutting or measuring, sanding, routering, anything that I need to do, I do it out here. So I'm glad that we at least got this roof overhead to be able to do it. What I was going to tell you was, when I build this front porch, I'm actually cutting the material. Since I went, you know, heavy duty on the house, I'm going to go heavy duty on the porch. I actually going to cut 2x8s, actually 2 inches by 8 inches. The floor joists, I actually cut those 1.5 inches because I had so much of them that I had to cut. But on this front porch, I'm going to go ahead and make them 2x8, and then of course my decking, I'm going to cut 1 inch thick. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 2x10 all the way down that side, a 2x10 up against the post, and then I'm going to cut out 2x2 squares, and I'm going to attach that to the bottom like I did the floor joist. That way all I've got to do is set the joist in there, and then they will like freestand until I get them nailed, and it will help to support that on the corners besides the nails that go in there too. So I don't think I'm going to use hangers, since I'm going to, cut everything 2 by 2. I think that'll be beefy or sufficient enough, strong enough to hold it anyway. So, but yeah, that's what my intentions are, and I am going to butt those up as tight as I can, because I know that this wood is going to shrink and it's going to open up and cause a gap on the floor joist. And the other thing too is, even like the other home that I built, I used pressure treated lumber, and it still shrunk. I don't know how to get by that, but anyway, I'll go ahead and put it in there, and if something happens where it looks too bad, I'll just pull it up and replace it with something, because sometimes some wood shrinks more than others. Why, I don't know. I guess because of the moisture content in it. But anyway, yeah, that's the next big thing that is going to be happening besides the rock, will be this front porch right here, and the inside the house where the stove is going to be. That's going to be a big job too, because I'm going to have to take a little bit more time on laying the rock, since I've got to set the stove on there, and the stove's going to have to set level, and something that I'm going to be looking at all the time, because I'll be spending quite a bit of time inside the cabin. Not that I didn't try to do a really good job on this outside, but that stove's going to have to set level, so at least the portion where the stove is going to be, I'm going to have to really level that up the best I can, so that it sets level and it doesn't do any rocking. So but yeah, I'm excited about getting the lumber cut and starting on this front porch, but the fireplace is going to come first because of fall, and cooler weather getting here, and having to have a fire at nighttime, because the last couple of nights that I woke up, it was 60 degrees. So just enough to where you want to put something on, and of course during the daytime about 10 o'clock, then it's warmed up some, but cooler nights are on their way, so I've got to get that stove, get it ready to go. So you'll probably see me working on that before I do any of this. Well, hey guys, it's that time of the month again. It is time for another giveaway. So on the Smoky Mountain Outpost channel, we have decided that we're going to give away 2 hoodies. This is of course the original logo, and we'll give one away on the review channel. Now by the time that we do this, we have some others that are being under inspection by the company that produces these, which are some new designs, so they may be available. But if you want to help support us, there will be a link in the description section down in the bottom where you can go to our store. If you like items like this, we have a bunch of different designs of apparel that my son has worked on actually. So go there and check that out, because there may be something in there that you like, and like I said, that does help support the channel. But anyway, here in just a few, I'll meet you inside and we will see who the lucky winners are for the month of August. But this is what we're going to do for the month of September. Like I said, 2 hoodies given away on the Smoky Mountain Outpost channel and 1 on the review channel. So let's go in there and see who the lucky winners are. Okay guys, I've got the random picker pulled up, and I've also got the Smoky Mountain Outpost video and along with the Outpost review video. So let's see who the lucky winners are for the month of August. Okay, so the first one is for the Smoky Mountain Outpost channel. We will copy this link, go to the random picker, insert that. We will get all the comments. And we will go down here and we will start the raffle. So it looks like Herdman, you are the winner for the Smoky Mountain Outpost channel. So let's go back. We will delete that one. We will go to the Outpost review channel, copy that link, go back to the random picker, paste that URL in there, pull all the comments, and go down and start the raffle. So it looks like Fred, Old Dog Dreaming, you are the winner for the review channel. So congratulations, Herdman and Old Dog Dreaming, for winning the Smoky Mountain Outpost and the review giveaway this month. Guys, be sure and send us your information to our Gmail account, smokymountaiноutpost@gmail.com, and let us know how we can get in touch with you to get that stuff to you. Don't Facebook us, don't Instagram us or anything else. Make sure and send an email. Guys, we want to congratulate you both. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Well, I was going to answer a few questions, but my phone is almost dead. So what I'm going to try to do is remember reading some of the comments every now and then, see if I could answer some of what I remember. So some people were concerned about the dog and his leg. Actually, you know, it was, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago that he started favoring that right front leg. And I think about a couple of weeks went by and it just went away. You know, he acted normal. And then about a month later, well, it was pretty soon, or pretty close to when I got the other dog, Dolly, he started favoring that leg again. You've probably seen it on some of the videos. But now, it seems to where he doesn't favor that leg anymore, and now it's his right rear. And I noticed that her right front, she's favoring it. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't know if it's them jumping in the creek down there, or if it's those steep steps, you know, coming out of the house where they've got to go down to hit that first step or not. I may have to do something about that, you know, get a plank, put a couple of 2x10s or something where we can walk in there, where they don't have to go down. Not really sure what it is. So you probably are going to notice that he's not really favoring that right front anymore. It's the right rear, because I've noticed that when he stops, you know, now when we start to go down there at the creek, they'll just run like there's nothing wrong, and they just run and run and run and run, you know. But when they slow down, I notice when he comes up here when he's eating or something like that, he'll hold that right leg up, that right rear. So if he continues to do that for another week or so, then I may take him to the vet. I just figure that, you know, he may have sprained it, and that may be all it is. And there's nothing really that you can do for that. You know, I've been trying not to throw the B-A-L-L as much. Can't say it, even though he's learned to spell some. But I try not to throw that too much anymore, so that they don't, you know, run through the woods. I didn't not want to take them to the creek, you know, because of being so hot and lots of humidity. So I end up taking them down there 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, 4 or 5 times a day, and, you know, try to get them cooled off and then bring them back up here. So not really sure what's going on with both of those, you know. I thought for once it kind of humored me a little bit because of this right arm right here. I have to favor it now because I injured it several months ago at Jennifer's house helping Stephen move. He had, you know, those bounce houses, and where you would blow them up, the kids play in them. We were trying to, because when they roll up, they're bigger than this table and heavy. Anyway, we were trying to roll, and I went to try to push, and I just felt, you know, it just like lightning shot up through my arm. And for several days I was picking that arm up because I couldn't, you know, I can do this now, but sometimes it will kind of lock in position. And I knew I had a torn rotator, you know, 20 years ago, but it's my right shoulder and their right front that they were favoring. Of course, like I said, he seems to be better now. Now it's his right rear. But it's kind of funny that we were all crippled somewhat. So anyway, you know, someone else, they wanted to know, could I do a total update on the property? Not really sure what they meant by that. I don't know if they were talking about aerial photography or what, but you know, it looks so much like a construction site up here. What I thought I would do is, before I did, you know, any more drone footage, I would kind of pick up and clean up a little bit. But when the leaves fall, that's when you'll be able to see a whole lot of what's going on up here with aerial footage. Not that, you know, I don't want to shoot some when there's leaves on the tree. I'll probably do that real soon, because it's not going to be long and the leaves will be turning. Probably, I'd say in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, the leaves will be in full turn, and it'll be really beautiful. But I need to get some drone footage before that, and I'll try to get some right at that peak area, and or right at that peak time. And then, of course, you know, when the leaves fall, like I said, you'll be able to see a lot more of what's going on up here, so I'll get some then. But you know, as far as an update goes, the chicken house is pretty much complete with the exception of water. I need to finish the water system up there. I bought some guttering. I need to put that in. Of course, the kitchen, you know, I'm going to put gutters on both sides of the kitchen here. I've got that 250-gallon tote down there. I'm going to set it up on 4 pillars over here and let the water run off in it to where it will man this sink. And also it will be up high enough that I can actually run a line underground and go over there to those raised beds and put in a drip system, because as much rain as we get, even though it's dripping, you know, into the garden, it should stay full, because it's not going to use that much, and then it'll rain again, fill it back up. So, and I don't use that much here either, so that will be cool. I'm trying to get my hands on a couple more of those. I'll just basically use a 5-gallon bucket up there, and I think what I'm going to do is just put 1 gutter on. I'm going to put it on the side where the pin is. That way when the water runs off, it doesn't run down on the ground. And I'll run it off into a 5-gallon bucket with have an overflow on it, and then, you know, the system where it comes out, where I showed those little cups where the chickens can get water there. I could, you know, if I wanted to go, you know, all the way with it, I could put gutter on both sides up there like I'm going to do here, and every roof, you know, that I have, I could actually fill tanks with. But you know, the one on the house, I'm going to have 2 tanks. I'll have to have one at the bottom and one up there. I'm going to try to put it up there underground, up there by the chicken house, and use gravity feed with a 2-inch line coming down to the house. But the one on the bottom, it'll have to catch the rain that comes off the roof, work on a pump system that will pump it up there, you know, and fill that tank up. And because this one, you know, I need to have some sort of system on it when it gets down to about, I don't know, maybe a quarter, that the, you know, the pump starts, when if it goes past that, the pump kicks on and starts pumping uphill, and to keep the one up top, you know, especially when it's raining, because when it's raining it's going to be filling up, right? So it'll be pumping up to the big one up top. But anyway, yeah, there's a few things that I'd like to do to the outhouse. I'd like to put a solar light out there. That way, you know, it comes on, kind of like I've got this outside light. It will come on and stay on. That way when people pull up the driveway, they'll say, whoop, somebody's home. No, I'm just teasing. But I'd like to have, you know, a little light system there, and like to put one out there in the sawmill, and you know, possibly out here in this little shed. I was hoping to sell it, but it looks like that the deal fell through because the person was going to get it. Where they were going to put it, that deal has fallen through, so they don't know, you know, where they're going to go now. So in the meantime, I've still got the little house. So the only reason I don't like it is because it doesn't really match anything up here. I had intentions of putting slab wood on the side of it if I was going to keep it, but I think what I may do is I may try to hire someone to come up here and move it move it down over there behind the sawmill or something, because when I build a garage and a workshop, I want to build it to where it matches everything up here, and you know, I can use that down there as a storage shed or something like that. But the other thing that I've got left to do before winter gets here is I've got some trees that have fallen down there in the field, and it's a different type of wood. They're actually dead standing, but a lot of them have fallen. The branches have kind of broken off, but like I said, they're standing there dead. So they will really burn good. I need to go down there and pick up some of that to mix with this box elder that I got from the church. I think I'm going to have plenty of wood, but you know, it never hurts to have more than what you need. So I need to go down there and cut up at least that 18-foot trailer full and bring it up here and pitch it over to the side and get it covered up so that I can mix the two during the winter time. The box elders, you know, it's not really too soft and it's not too hard. It's kind of a middle of the road, but it's dried out a lot. It actually really burns good. But like I said, I want to take some of that other hardwood and mix with it so that you know, I can save on my hardwood by using some of that and burn with it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off here. I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out what's going on up here at the cabin. If you're new to this channel, be sure and go check out our other channel, Smoky Mountain Outpost. That's where we do all the building, and that's our main channel. Also, we do giveaways on both channels, so be sure to go to our website, smokymountaiноutpost.com, and check out that, because all the details are there on the giveaways. And we do that because we appreciate you guys supporting our channel. So we want to do that, you know, to as a thank you to you on a monthly basis. Also, guys, towards the end of the video, I'll have some icons pop up. So if you're interested in watching more of the review channel, the latest one, you can click the bottom left-hand corner. If you want to see the most recent Outpost video, you'll be able to click the top left-hand corner. Be sure and go check out our store. My son has been working on some new apparel, some new logos and things like that for the store that we have. I think, I can't remember, the 50, 60 different items in there now. I know that, you know, fall is coming up. Winter won't be long. We'll be, you know, into colder weather. And then you've got holidays coming up. You know, if you're interested in something like that, purchasing something, you know, for your family, there's a lot of things there that might just be cool, and they would like something like that. So be sure and go check that out. You can find a link down in the description section of the video on the store, how to get there. Go check it out. You know, like I said, there may be something there that you like. Anyway, my son, my daughter, and I, we really appreciate you guys supporting both of our channels. Thanks for stopping by. You all take care. Have a great afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.